All right, we're back. That is Zack Poff, our national football editor at MaxPreps. I am Steve Montoya. Thanks for joining us on the MaxPreps Podcast. Let's talk a little bit about last week. Let's start with the rankings.
Yeah.
Got a couple new teams joining in. First off, Servite, number 19. Pretty impressive win for them last week.
Yeah, they had a big-time win against J. Sarah Catholic. You know, they got a stud running back in Quad Carr, man. He had a huge game, went for a career-high 185 yards. And, you know, they've been without their quarterback, Leo Hannon, a Michigan State commit, last 3 games, but they're still winning. They get Mater Dei this week, so we'll see how they do. But, yeah, Quade Carr, man, he's going to have a big game if they want to pull that upset.
Yeah, we'll talk about that game here in a little bit. And the other new team this week, DeMatha. They lost their first game of the season, but now they're on a little bit of a roll, and they're back inside the top 25.
Yeah, that just shows you how good Archbishop Spalding is, too, because that's the only loss. And, you know, Archbishop Spalding with Malik Washington, they've been absolutely rolling folks here. So, yeah, big win for DeMatha against Massillon a couple weeks ago, and they were kind of that first team on the bubble. A couple teams lost last week, so the Stags jump in. Now you got 2 teams from Maryland in the top 25.
Yeah, and then a big game last week. This was a thriller in Southern California. Orange Lutheran, St. John Bosco. Olu had a little bit of a lead there. St. John Bosco had to come back and win it, and their freshman quarterback, I'll let you pronounce his name, he had just an incredible game. What a young talent the Bosco has.
Yeah, the Braves, I mean, with Negro, they've had a lot of big-time quarterbacks, but Koa Malaulu.
There you go.
Stud freshman quarterback, man. I was impressed because – you know, usually a freshman quarterback, you kind of ease him in. This one, Trinity League opener, you know, the starter, Matai Fuyava, couldn't go. So he gets the keys to the car, man. Second half, he completed 20 of 22 passes. All 4 of his touchdowns came in the second half. And, you know, they had to score in the final minute to beat Olu 28-24. It's nice for him, though. He's got arguably one of the top receiving corps in the country, led by Madden Williams, Carson Clark, and Daniel Odom. So, but yeah. Tip to the cap to that dude, man. Freshman quarterback coming in, leading your team to a win like that. And they got Santa Margarita this week, and then they get Servite, and then the week after that they get Mater Dei. So be interesting to see who's going to be QB1. You know, Fuyava was out with an injury.
Yeah.
So good thing for Negro. He's got 2 good quarterbacks, though.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have for sure. All right, last week we talked a little bit just about how dominant California has been this year with the amount of teams that are inside the top 25. But we can't overlook the state of Texas and what they've been able to do. And they have some teams just playing incredible football right now. They have 5 teams inside the top 25. We're going to talk about a big game coming up in the state of Texas. But let's just talk about the Lone Star State, what you've seen from some of the teams this year. And hey, they're obviously a powerhouse state, and they're showing it this year. Yeah,
you know, this is the thing for me is this is where I wish we would see Texas play more out-of-state games because it would just be great for the fans. Mm-hmm. We did see Duncanville play St. Francis Academy, and look how great of a game that was. You know, Keelan Russell led Duncanville to a 28-24 win. But, yeah, the state of Texas as a whole, great football. You got Duncanville at number 4. They're going to be in contention for sure to finish at that number 1 spot at the end of the year. One of the most talented teams in the country. You got North Shore Houston Power at number 8. And then North Crowley, probably the surprise team of the year. They beat DeSoto earlier in the season. They got a high-powered offense. Quentin Gibson, stud wide receiver. He's starting to get the recognition he deserves, landing some big-time FBS offers here lately. And Atascocita, you know, a team that's good every single year, but this year might be the best team they've had over the last decade. Big-time backfield, Carde Mack at quarterback and Torrey Blaylock at running back. And who else am I missing? Oh, and then DeSoto. They got Duncanville this week, so that'll be a fun game to watch. And then, obviously, you know, you got teams like Summer Creek, a very good program, South Lake Carroll, Austin Westlake, so a very deep state when it comes to high school football. Yeah. And right there with California, Georgia, and Florida as one of the state's best. Yeah,
no doubt. And kind of leading into that DeSoto-Duncanville game, I mean, this is when you look at good rivalries over the last several years when these two teams play, it's going to be a good football game. Maybe the hype is maybe not as high because DeSoto lost that game, but it all doesn't matter if they can beat Duncanville right here.
Yeah, that's the one thing, too, with this. It's like the same thing we saw with Miami Central Northwestern last week. This is one of the best rivalries in the country, and it's better when they're, both top 25 teams. So, Keelan Russell's 33-1 as a starter. The only loss was DeSoto last year, 49-35 loss. Dalen Singleton, senior now, junior last year, had nearly 200 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, also had a kickoff return score. So he's played well against Duncanville in the past. This should be a fun game on Friday. I'm kind of going back and forth here. I actually think DeSoto is going to find a way to win this game. Keldon Ryan's played great at quarterback this year for DeSoto.
Okay.
They got a very talented backfield. They got playmakers. It's going to come down to getting enough stops against Duncanville because in that North Crowley loss, they scored 51, but they gave up 57. Yeah. The defense has played better, but Duncanville's offense got a lot of firepower. Obviously, DeCorian Moore, Zack Turner, they got a bunch of dudes at wide receiver. They got some dudes on defense, too, and Keelan Russell, the guy's a winner. He's 33-1.
Yeah.
Back-to-back state champs, 6A D1. DeSoto's a back-to-back 6A D2 state champs, too. So it should be a fun game, but I think DeSoto's going to pull off an upset here.
Yeah, and the thing about Texas is their playoff brackets are incredibly tough.
Yeah.
Long road. They go all the way. Would you say December 23rd is the last game in the state of Texas? So if you're making it through those higher divisions in the state of Texas, you're always going to be inside our top 10.
Yeah, 100%.
So let's go back to California. Let's talk about modern day Servite. Is there any team besides St. John Bosco that could beat modern day in the last 10 years or so? It's been a long road for teams like Servite, who's just been beat since 2011 against modern day. I know Servite's undefeated, but this is a tough matchup.
It's a different animal, man. This is the first time Servite's ranked since they had Noah Fafita, Tetrone McMillan, Jacob Manu, and obviously Mason Graham. So it's been a minute since they've been ranked in the top 25. So we'll see. Yeah, you brought it up. The last time anybody not named St. John Bosco beat Mater Dei was in 2015. Yeah, so it's been almost a decade. And hey, Servite had a great win last week against a previously undefeated and previously ranked J. Sarah squad. So this should be a fun game. But yeah, I think Mater Dei just got too many dudes, especially if Leo Hannon can't go at quarterback. You're not going to beat Mater Dei if you're one-dimensional. Right. I know, Carr's a big-time running back, but it's going to be tough going against Tomu Topu at the D-line. They got a great linebacking core. I'm leaning Mater Dei big in this one.
All right, let's go to Florida for a couple games. In St. Thomas Aquinas, Chaminade, Madonna.
Yeah.
Chaminade has 2 real close losses this season so far. If they were able to beat St. Thomas Aquinas, does this give them a chance to jump back in the top 25?
Yeah, I mean, they're right there. I think they're at 28 right now or 29. Them and Miami Central are both right there from jumping back into the top 25. And this team, man, they've had a lot of injuries this year. Some kids transferred out too. So last week they had to play a running back at quarterback, won 37-8. So I don't know if that's going to work against Aquinas though. So hopefully they got a guy that can sling the thing, but it's going to be tough against Aquinas, man. St. Thomas Aquinas is playing great ball since that loss to Bishop Gorman. Both teams riding win streak. Chaminade's won 5 in a row. Aquinas has won 6 in a row. But, yeah, I'm going Aquinas here. I just think Chaminade with no proven quarterback, it's going to be tough to beat a team loaded like Aquinas.
Yeah, definitely. And American Heritage and Norland are playing. American Heritage is another one of those teams. They have 3 losses, but they're all tight. Yeah. Norland's only lost, Chaminade, Madonna. So it's still, maybe if you just look at records, it doesn't look that impressive. But if you just look at outcomes and what both teams have on talent-wise, this is a great football game.
Yeah, and, Norland had one of the biggest wins last week, beating Cocoa 33-14. Yeah. They dominated that game. I was surprised, Cocoa's got a big-time offense, but Norland's defense, they had their way. Inio Yapor at quarterback, too. This is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play in Florida. You look at his numbers, it's right there with anybody in Florida state history. But this is going to be tough because American Heritage, yes, they have 3 losses. But as you mentioned, against Milton, the number 3 team in the country, and then Miami Central and Chaminade Madonna by 3 points each.
Three good teams. Yeah.
Dia Bell this year, junior quarterback, son of Raja Bell, 5-star Texas commit. He's having a tremendous year. He was good last year as a sophomore, but he's been great this year as a junior. I expect him to have a big game on Saturday. And I know Norland's got a very good defense, but I think Dia Bell's going to have his way, and I expect Heritage to get their 4th win of the season.
All right, and then finally go to Georgia, Milton, and Gainesville. Gainesville's lone loss was to Carrollton. They're 6-1 overall. Milton, the number 3 team in the country. Any chance there for Gainesville?
I mean, I give them a chance. It's, they're a good football team. This team, they've lost 3 games since 2002. Josh Niblett, former Hoover head coach, did a tremendous job there. He's doing a great job since coming over to Georgia. only those 3 losses. So, but yeah, Milton, I think they're the best team outside of Mater Dei Bosco that will have a chance to finish the year at number 1, depending on what happens with Mater Dei Bosco. They put themselves in a good position. They got that Buford win. They beat a very talented Heritage team. And if they can win emphatically against Gainesville, that'd be another nice win for Milton. Yeah, I expect Luke Nickel to have a big game. He's got so many weapons led by C.J. Wiley and Ethan Barbour. So T.J. Lester's been huge for them, too. It's going to be a lot to stop for Gainesville. I like Milton in this one.
All right, you heard it right there. That's Zack Poff, our Nashville football editor. I'm Steve Montoya. Thanks for always tuning in to the MaxPreps Podcast.